Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Jennifer Ernst, the CEO and co-founder of Tivic Health. Thanks for joining us, Jennifer.
Thank you. Good morning, Fred.
Give us some background about Tivic Health, what you're all about.
Tivic Health is a company focused on using non-invasive neuromodulation. And what neuromodulation means is the stimulation of nerves in order to create beneficial effects. So our first product is literally a small handheld nerve stimulator that is used for sinus relief. You glide this along the cheekbone, it locates a treatment spot, vibrate, hold it in place until it finishes vibrating, and then glide it to locate the next treatment point. The core technology that we're using inside is the type of technology you'd typically associate with pacemakers, deep brain stimulators, spinal implants. But we've taken that same concept of using stimulation of the nerves, in this case through the skin, and applied it to a simple, handheld, easy-to-use device for clearing up sinus pain.
Interesting. So how did this come about, Jennifer?
Well, the initial concept actually was a brainchild of John Claude, my co-founder. He had a sailing accident and he was in a doctor's office being treated, and he noticed this large box that's say about 3 foot wide, 2 foot tall, silver finish, knobs and dials all over it. And he asked the doctor, "What do you use that for?" The doctor said, "I like to use it to treat allergies." And John, being a 30-year biomedical engineer and consummate curious inventor, couldn't resist asking, can I try it? So his first experience with this 3 foot wide, 2 foot tall box was actually a fairly painful experience, but the doctor had a booming practice around treatment. So John started mulling on work he had done earlier and started thinking, I could do better. And he took the concept of the stimulation, work that he had done in the past with using electrical stimulation in the management of blood flow, and began coming up with a very simple design. And the first one was a little bit bigger than this, maybe 1 inch by 6 inches, first prototype. And we brought that down through several design cycles into something about the size of a business card. So original inspiration came from a really big box that could have been featured in a sci-fi movie. And then gradually we moved to using it. And then the next step actually, as we were beginning to form the company, I met a neuroimmunologist, somebody who specializes in the functions of the immune system and the nervous system and how they intersect, out of UCSF, who brought the science to the table so we could begin to really look at, on the mechanistic level or at the scientific level, how the technology works.
Well, describe for us the typical person who would want to use this. What is this treat? What do you use this for?
So there's about 60 to 70 million people who have chronic sinus conditions, and about 50 million of those are hay fever sufferers. And that is when you have a response to pollen, allergens in the air, pet dander. One of the most common symptoms associated with that, and one of the things that actually is pretty hard to treat, is this kind of pulsing, throbbing headache that goes along with it. This is due to the swelling of the tissue inside the sinus passages. The microcurrent has historically been very effective at treating inflammation. So this pulsing, throbbing headache, you'll often see somebody kind of going like this. I'll be going like this when it hits me. That sensation really in and around the center of the face area that with allergies in particular, it just doesn't go away.
So step us through how the device Clear Up is helping, and what the process is. Is it how long do you use it for?
So a general treatment cycle is 5 minutes to go around and locate a treatment point, be able to glide, and complete the cycle around basically the nose and the brow bone area. It's emitting a very, very, very tiny electrical current, and most people on the lowest setting won't feel anything at all, or they'll feel a very, very slight, maybe a little tingle. As you increase the level, some people feel a little bit more like a tiny, tiny prickle sensation. What we're actually doing is locating key nerves that run through the sinus passages. They come through the sinuses and surface under the skin area. So in this facial area, the nerves come very close to the skin, and we're able to locate them through the skin using proprietary technology to isolate that current treatment very directly and precisely to nerves and to blood vessels. And there are two key functions we believe are at work and being triggered here based on our scientific and clinical studies. One of them has to do with general pain relief and how you can modulate the pain signal itself. But an even more interesting one is that the frequencies we use have been shown to generate in the sinus passages now norepinephrine, which is a chemical very much like what's used for asthma inhalers, used for clearing up when you use a nasal spray. So basically getting the body to make its own compounds as opposed to having to take chemicals internally through a pill or a spray.
So it can actually help to clear up the sinuses as well, to help you breathe more easily?
The FDA has cleared it for the treatment of sinus pain, and we are currently going through an approval process with the FDA reviewing our data on congestion for the use for congestion. We have an EU marking for CE mark for the European Union that covers pain, pressure, and congestion. So our data has been reviewed both by domestic and international bodies. One of our 4-week studies that patients take the device home and use it at home for a period of time, twice a day for the first 2 weeks and as needed thereafter, also as needed throughout the day during those 2 weeks. We saw a dramatic reduction in symptom severity over time. So very nice to have about 50% of people will feel a nearly immediate strong response. About 3 out of 4 people will feel at least something the first time they use it, and then we see with the clinical studies that the symptoms improve significantly over time to the level that is often associated with pharmaceutical products.
So this is strictly for allergies, or is it also for colds, flu, that kind of thing?
In the US, our clearance is for allergies.
Okay. So no claims beyond that at this stage anyway.
Exactly.
Tell us about pricing and availability.
So at the moment, we are running a special at buyclearup.com for $119. So that includes both the unit, and you get a free carrying case with it. I'm so happy with these nice new carrying cases we got. So it is available at buyclearup.com. Also available at Amazon, Walgreens, Best Buy, several FSA store. So for anybody that has FSA dollars available to spend at the end of the year, the FSA store is also carrying the product. Also carrying
Are there issues with sharing it? How is it sanitized, that kind of thing?
A simple alcohol wipe takes care of the sanitizing part of it, so people can share it. What we have found within our own families is that there is a little bit of a tendency that this is mine. This one's mine. I don't want to share it, partially because it's something that I take with me, right? I mean, it's something I want to have with me at the office or take with me and use. So it's not uncommon, and probably over the holidays, you'll see some specials running on some two for one, special pricing on 2 units for families.
Excellent. So once again, the website would be buyclearup.com. Jennifer Ernst, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you so much.